3, 2, 1, go. All right, here I am, Richard Nikoley, blog freetheanimal.com, social media presence on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Those links are at the blog freetheanimal.com, which is sort of home base. Everything operates from there. Here I am on the heels of first video in a long time yesterday, where I sort of decried the how I dread making videos, and here I am on the heels of that, making yet another. I guess I have things to talk about, but as long as I don't have to mess with the meaningless stuff like bumper music and graphics and heavy editing and all of that, then I'm kind of fine with it, actually. So I got 3 things to talk about, and probably it'll be 3 videos because I want to keep these to 10 minutes time frame. Plus, I'm a bit motivated because I put one up 19 hours ago, and as of right now it has 530 views. I mean, that's nothing compared to some dudes, but dudes and dudesses, but 530 views in 19 hours and 15 thumbs up, 2 thumbs down. I gotta tell you, I love the thumbs down. It's like the video is innocuous, right? It's like thumb down. It's like really okay. I love that. Like I say, my biggest fans are the haters. They are the ones who are sure to keep an eye on everything you do so that they can try to gaslight you, right? That's their whole. They're self-projecting by gaslighting. So whatever, whatever. The thumbs down motivate me more than the thumbs up, actually. So 3 things to talk about. The overview, the 30,000 foot level, is pleasure and reward. And then I want to talk about that in the context of me quitting alcohol and losing, as of this morning, let's see, what is it? I started at 92 kilos and I'm down to 84.8, so call it 85. So that's a 7.2 kilos or something. 7.2 kilos lost in the space of really just a couple. I'll call it a couple months, but I've only been doing it in earnest for, say, the last month or so. Hitting that, and I'm doing the fasting windows. I'll get into that more and how it relates to this pleasure and reward. Same for alcohol. But first, let's cover the fundamentals, the groundwork. Now, before I do that, I never really thought, before, those who know me from the paleo days, we're always talking about macros and quality of food and your macros and to some extent fasting, but not more of a natural thing. But it's almost like I look at the whole macro composition and the food qualities as there's a disconnect there, where everyone's looking for magic. I can remember way back when I read Eat, Stop, Eat by Brad Pilon, and the one thing that struck me is what Brad said right at the very beginning of the book is everyone that's always talking about, what do I need to eat to lose weight? Which is ridiculous when you think about it, because you were never losing weight when you're eating, ever. It's impossible, right? The weight loss comes when you're not eating. So there's a certain magic, and especially to all the people who are like just hyper fans of like the macro composition and the clean eating, clean food, and so on. They're searching for magic because they don't want to feel the pain. And I'm here to tell you that if you do not come to the point where you are willing to experience regularly daily the displeasure or pain of hunger, you will never lose weight. Just stop. Stop. Stop fooling yourself. Stop with the cognitive dissonance. Right? So that's the whole keto everything. It's all about magic, where you lose fat, you lose weight without denying yourself any pleasure. Sound familiar? We'll get into that. So I didn't start thinking in terms of reward and pleasure and until a book came out a few years back by, well, no, it was actually before that. It was at the Ancestral Health Symposium, where Stephan Guyenet shocked the community by doing a presentation on, basically calories in, calories out, and reward circuitry in the brain research. And Gary Taubes went after him, and of course, it was like Gary Taubes was the hero, so Stephan had to be wrong. But I thought, well, no, there's something to this. And subsequently, he came out with a book. I don't know, The Hungry Brain or something like that. It's a good book. Since then, I have to say, though, that Stephan has become quite a disappointment. Turned out to be, he was never political. I already suspected he was probably more on the leftist side of the spectrum, but little did I know until this whole COVID con came around, and he and others turned out to be just abject leftists. I mean, evidently, you don't have to have a PhD. You don't have to have any civics knowledge to earn a PhD. Same with a few other people. I got to move on here. But anyway, there's another guy, Adam Brian Data. Some people know him as AB Data. He has been talking about reward stuff, and he has a YouTube channel. I'll point you to that. He also has a Patreon, which I support. Up to you. But he's been talking about it, and I fell into this, right? But in so doing, I started making distinctions about things. So I'm trying to think out loud, if you will. I'm willing to be corrected. Adam can come in here and correct me if he wants, or refine or whatever to help me and help you, and any corrections that I get that make sense to me, I will pass on. So when we talk, it seems to me that pleasure and reward get used interchangeably when I don't think they are the same. I mean, you talk about pleasure seekers, but really that's kind of not a great way to think about it, because life should be pleasurable. I mean, for the most part, you're always going to have times of hardships and sadness, right? But generally, you should be living a rather pleasurable life. Sleep is pleasurable. Sex is pleasurable. Eating is pleasurable, right? Even if you're just eating plain food because you're hungry, you're satisfying a hunger, that's pleasurable. Drinking when you're thirsty is pleasurable. Taking a walk is pleasurable. A beautiful view is pleasurable. There's tons of things that we do that's a normal course of human life that is healthy to engage in, that's pleasurable. So you don't want to make pleasure the enemy. But the problem is that we don't attach pleasure seeking, let's call it unbridled pleasure seeking, to reward. Reward is a different concept, because when you reward, say you're rewarding someone, right? Typically, you have an idea in your head, a well-defined idea of what the conditions are to get that reward and what that reward is, and it's limited, right? So there's conditions and it's limited, right? So when you seek pleasure over and above your normal pleasurable activities in life, then call it a reward. But you should define it, right? It's like, okay, if I accomplish this goal, no cheating, if I accomplish this goal, I will get this reward. Say it's 2 alcohol drinks, and maybe if you were a former smoker and you didn't smoke again, 1 cigarette, get that nicotine buzz. Dose makes the poison, remember. So, or it could be anything. You watch a Netflix movie or listen to an album or something like that, sex. But people in sort of hedonistic pleasure seeking, right? They call it reward, but really what it is it's hedonistic, unbridled, no limits pleasure seeking. So that's the difference. Any sustaining success where you're successful in life, you're moving forward, you can see the progress, and it's rational, it's good, it's healthy for you, it advances you. That's pleasurable. That's the sort of pleasure that you want to seek. And I think as you get more, if you make that a routine, right, then you don't even need to begin thinking about rewarding yourself anymore. Life itself is its own reward, right? And that's what I'm working on. So don't confuse the two, and I'll leave it at that, and then we'll cover some specifics in my next video. Thanks for listening, watching. freetheanimal.com